Hey everybody, are we ready for a deep dive into flavor? All right, so I got a lot of feedback from my last uh, whatchamacallit, Excel spreadsheet. And so I fine tuned it and I went through each and every one of my tasting videos from 2025 and some from 2024 because what I wanted to do was there were questions, including that I had, which were, hey, why didn't any of your Black Madeiras make it to the top 10 spots? It's shocking because they are phenomenal figs. How come they didn't make it on my spreadsheet? So that's why I decided to revamp and just do a deep dive on just flavor because there were parts of flavor that I clearly it did not catalog or was missing because it didn't capture those elements of the black Madeira types that are, blow your mind stuff. So I went back in and I thought about it some more. And so what I did was I watched every video and I actually put down all the flavors of each and every fig that I was picking up on those videos. A couple of them only, a couple of them I watched other people's videos because for example, my DSJG, I had only the one to go off of, and it was I don't feel like it's indicative of everything. So I went and I did a couple of searches on that fig to see what other people were saying about it and if it jibed to what I was tasting. And so I added a couple of their elements of what makes it fantastic because I want the rating system to be as accurate as we can get it. All right. Next, I put in eye, the features of the eye. Not that they affect the flavor, although they do if it's an open eye and it absorbs water. Was it closed? Was it open? Was it sealed shut? Like, is it an open eye, but it seals itself with pollen, whatchamacallit, syrup or honey or, a drop of honey at the eye type of thing? Or is it like a medium open? Okay. The next thing I did were seeds. Does it have some seeds, a lot of seeds, or no seeds? And that is a factor, I think, for some people. Not really me. Next thing I did was if it's tart or has a tang, some people call it citrusy flavor, and I believe that's what they mean when they say citrusy flavor, is that it has a slight tang right here, you know? And I love that, so I gave it a bit of a higher rating, and I didn't want to penalize the figs too much for not having that. So if it has a tang, I gave it a 5. If it doesn't have a tang, I gave it a 4. Okay? Next thing I did was here's something that I didn't capture before, and that is complexity. What is complexity? So, complexity is how many flavors are you tasting in this fig? When you take a bite out of this fig, is it multiple flavors? You can't name them? Or is it only 2 flavors? Like, can you say, oh, this is a strawberry and raspberry flavor? Okay, that's a 4. If it's a simple berry or slight berry, we're going to give it a 3. And that's like for example, honey fig, right? We're going to give that a 3. Then it's richness. Richness was not measured last time. So what are we saying for richness? Let me move my camera a little bit. Sorry, I feel like I'm in the way here. All right, so what are we saying for richness? Richness is thick, cakey, clings to your teeth. We're going to give that a 5. Right? So this is like the CDD types. We're going to give that a 5. Is it meaty? Is it a great chew? Does the flavor linger? So these are your long dutes These are your brown turkeys. It's like meaty. There's texture there, and it's really substantial. I gave that a 4. If it's typical, it doesn't linger. Like you eat it, you chew it, it's wonderful, and it's gone. Or it's refreshing, right? Like those melony types of figs, like the honey figs. For example, we're going to give that a 3. And this is why honey figs end up at the bottom. It's just because that there's no richness. Like this is why a honey fig is down here and a black Madeira is up here or a CDD is up here. It's because of the richness, it's the complexity of it. So it doesn't mean it's not phenomenal. It's just we're this is what we're measuring. I mean, if it's a fine wine, right? You're measuring all these things. Not that grape juice, like Welch's grape juice, isn't awesome. It is, but we're just measuring different elements and saying, hey, these are elite and these are yum, right? So anyway, just having fun with this, guys. Anyway, right? Um, Next thing is skin. I gave skin a rating. For skin, if it's leathery, it dries on the tree, or it adds any element of flavor or desirable texture, okay, I'm going to give it a point. If it doesn't have anything noticeable about the skin, we're just going to leave it as is, no points, nothing. If it's bitter, we're going to deduct 1. Okay. Next, we went to sweetness level, which we measured last time. If it's super sweet, it's a 5. If it's a regular sweet, it's 4. If it's medium, 3, and then less sweet, 2. I don't know if I really had any. I think I may have had 1. Then the next element is splitting. Is this a splitter? You know what else I should have put on here is a Breba, but that's good for production, not taste. Anyway, is it a splitter? If it's a splitter, I'm going to take away a point. All right. So with that, we've got new winners, guys. Now that I really, really dug down deep and really did research on it, we've got new top winners. And here, in no particular order, these are all the top rated ones right here, guys. All these in red. The raspberry latte, the Campanieri, Black Tuscan. See, now they're here, right? Black Tuscan, Figo Preto, Madeira Island Black, Black Madeira, CDD Noir, Capulco Negra, Craven's Craving, and Del San Juan Migrant. Now they're up in the top. Why did that happen? For the simple reason that none of them were tart, first of all, which is shocking that they made the top without being tart, but their complexity were 5s, right? Because they had multiple flavors, so they were all 5s. They all had a thick, cakey, clings to your teeth type of characteristic. Pardon me. Their skin, every one of them got a point for their skin because either they dry on the tree or they have a crunch, or they are leathery, like they dry on the tree, and then everything just intensifies when they dry on the tree, and it adds a bit of flavor to it. They were all category 5 for sweetness. And so these were my top, looks like, how many do I have here? We've got 10, top 10, look at that. All right, so my top 10 were those. All right, next ones down the line, Noir de Barbentine. I'm so happy that made 11, right? That makes sense. Noir de Barbentine, White Madeira, Harry's Creek, CDD Roja, Mutante, Strawberry Verte, LSU Tiger, Chiliga Dolce, Azores Dark, St. Rita, CLBC, and Nuestra Senora del Carmen. Those all came in basically second place. They all scored 19. Now I fixed my chart so that if it had a lower number, it's alerting us like this is where the problem was, for example. But this is for Bacor anyway. But none of these had problematic numbers, as you can see, right? Oops, I forgot to change these to purple. Anyway, um, so that's our, those are our, oops. Anyway, those are our second place winners. I'll fix that later. Our third, our third place winners, we've got Bacor, Socorro Black, Smith came in third place, Leon's Montenegro, Black Celeste, CDD Blanca Negra, Texas Peach, Crows, Celeste, Zingarella, I-258 is down here. Why is I-258? Because this year it was a splitter for me. I had no problems with it last year, but this year specifically, it was splitting on me like crazy. It was watered down. It was getting infested with bugs. I did not like that. And I gave it a 5 for tartness because last year it was tart. This year I didn't taste much tartness to it like I did last year. It was just magnificent last year. And so I didn't want to penalize it too much for having an off year. I-258 is phenomenal, but it landed in third place. If it didn't split this year, guess what? That -1 wouldn't be there. It would be in second place here. It would have a 19. All right. And Rondy Bordeaux, I didn't get any figs from it this year. And I'm glad I penalized it for that. But I have just recently, I put it in ground last year and it had some dieback over winter. And so it finally shot back. And so, anyway, I didn't want to penalize it because it didn't come back for me. But when I had it a couple of years ago, it was a fruit roll up, basically, a berry fruit roll up. And it did really well, except for it's a splitter as well. Um, but again, it's in the top three, right? 18, 19, 20s. If you guys want to keep going here, let's see. These are our fourth place winners. Fourth place, we have De La Roca, Ponte Teresa, Spadafora Dark, Princessa, Jolly Rancher, Peter's Honey TNT, Calderona, Kisiriani, Basilica Sika, Black Ishia. Why did these score in fourth place? You could see now you start seeing all these problem areas, right? So for example, Jolly Rancher, it was the richness that affected it. It's the Jolly Rancher is it the complexity? The richness was, where are you, richness? Yeah, it wasn't very leathery, right? It just typical. It didn't linger. It was refreshing. And this is the first year that it gave me figs, and so let's take that with a grain of salt. This might be exceptional in years to come. Uh, Princessa lost a point because it's a splitter, but man, did it have flavor! Holy moly! Another splitter was TNT and Calderona, and so they lost a couple points because of that. Kisiriani, complexity is not there. Complexity is you're getting like a simple berry flavor, but the productivity is crazy, so I love it. I was gonna sell my tree and I changed my mind because it's such a giver. The whole tree fills up with figs and it's never ending, nonstop, which is so important to us fig growers. Like sometimes you just want that tree that keeps giving no matter what. And so it goes into your heart. Uh, Next, I've got the JH Adriatic, Pink Honey, Long Dute, Cavalieri, Yellow Longneck, Pota de Caval, Burns Brown Turkey, Tina, and Negron. Why did my Pota de Caval end up here, or Pink Honey, or Longdale? It's probably because of their simplicity. So let's see. The simplicity of the uh, JH Adriatic. It was like strawberry or raspberry. It wasn't tart. It wasn't super sweet. Um, for Pink Honey, again with the simplicity of it, it was just straight concentrated honey, and so it had super high sweetness, but the simplicity factor, hurt it, and then the richness factor, and the it wasn't tart. Um, The yellow law was, where am I? Cavalieri is a splitter. The yellow long neck simplicity. The Tina is the richness. Tina is, it was like a white grape. Isn't that awesome? It tasted like white grape, and it was honey. And so just like simple, just one flavor, refreshing, and didn't linger. Uh, Negron were fours all the way across. So anyway, not too big of a deal, but we're talking about fifth place. What, a one, two, three, four, five. Yep, I'm so bad at math. Okay, BNR. Wow, BNR ended up in sixth place. For me this year, because it was the first year it really even gave me anything, it was the sweetness was affected, and it was my, I don't know what it was, honestly, but the sweetness wasn't there. And so that's what hurt it. The skin wasn't any particular texture. It's not a splitter, that's a good thing. Italian honey, the complexity hurt it, the richness hurt it, uh, and it wasn't as sweet as it typically is. This was an off year for it. Nicodem Haven, same. The complexity and richness is what hurts it. And the sweetness level was not super high. I'm hoping that that changes, but it does change as the year, as the cool weather sets in. It starts. You know why it's such a big fig? The Nicodem Haven is big, and if you are watering it a lot, it holds a lot of water. It doesn't split, but it makes it watery. And so it takes away some of the sweetness. And so and you know what, I think that's also indicative of its premature root system. It is only, what, 3 years old? And I think this next year, I put it in a pot. It's just been changing pots, and you guys know how that is. And so until it sort of calls, it's now it's in its forever pot. It's in a put it in a 15-gallon pot. I think now that the roots get used to that pot, it'll start really cranking out the flavor, I believe. And so I love it. I wouldn't give it up for anything. Letizia, it's a simple, these are all basically simple figs. Which one was not? The Martinenca Ramada. It had a richness higher than everything else. And but complexity, it was pretty simple for me this year. And this is the first year also it gave me anything, and the sweetness was affected, similar to BNR. So those two both I had a similar problem with. It was like they tasted immature. I could tell it's going to be a blow your mind fig, both of them, but I feel like their root system is not fully established, and this is year three for me with them. I had some bumps in the road up to now, but I think this next year we'll really see what they're about. And so don't hold my chart against them. This is for real tastings, right? This is not, I'm not sugarcoating anything here. This is what I truly tasted. And Atriano, it is awesome, but it's a simple fig and it splits. But my goodness, I couldn't be without an Atriano just because it's so darn early and it's giving me big, hearty, wonderful figs when you want them the most. Like you've had a whole long winter. The first one that's going to give you figs is that Atriano. So I'm holding on to that. Chicago Hardy, I don't know how it made it onto my onto any of my rating systems, but it did. So I don't want to anger any of you guys that do love the Chicago Hardy. So it's up there. All right, I put it up there. I gave it some points. Zafiro, pass. Paponi, pass for now. I LSU Hollier. Uh, It was a big time. These were splitters for me. Let's see. The Zafiro was a splitter. Hollier was a splitter. They just had a bunch of things against them this time around. So let's have some fun with my chart right now. Let's go back to the top and let's just say, hey, who wins under complexity? So let's remember again what complexity was. Is it thick? It's thick, cakey, clings to your teeth. Which figs were that? Let's see. Okay, in complexity, we got our same old right top 10s, almost top 16, still there. Socorro Black, Texas Peach, Crows, Celeste, De La Roca, Ponte Tresa. Complex. These are my complex figs. All right. Nice, right? Yeah. Campanieri was complex. It was a strawberry raspberry juicy fruit candy. It was so good. Holy cow, that was so good. I had some fun getting or like writing these down because these are so amazing. Capulcurt Negra, just forget about it. Candied pomegranate. That's what Capulcurt Negra is. So when Harvey was saying that, he doesn't know why people think the Capulcurt Negra is not a big deal, but he had people coming to his place and they all went right straight for the Capulcurt Negra. I know why, man. That thing is great. Um, and Del San Juan Grand, that's gonna be great. But these were some uh, flavors picked up by other tasters out there. And so I sort of put that in there because I didn't want it to affect your guys' view of that because it is phenomenal. And that's why I have it, but it's young for me. So, all right. Next, you say, hey, which ones were the sweetest? Your top sweetest figs. Again, the top 10 stay where they are, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. The top 10 didn't move. Really, the top sort of 15, 16 are not going anywhere. They're staying put, and this is why they're ranked this high. Um, and so all these figs, I'm hoping that you're able to read those, but I don't want to read the whole list, but these are the top sweetest figs I have had. Okay, and so if you're looking for the, you know, top ones plus a few others that are like you're just looking for straight sweetness, like sugar, syrup, honey, blah. Here they are. Okay. Next, what do you guys want to see next? Which ones have no seeds? Raspberry latte, Campanieri, CDD noir. A lot of the CDDs, you don't notice the seeds, it seems like, or I didn't anyway. Bacor, Blanca Negra, Celeste, Jolly Rancher, Peter's Honey, Pink Honey, Vern's Brown Turkey, Tina, Negrone, Italian Honey. See, this is where a lot of the honey figs come in because they almost have zero detectable seeds in there, which if you like that, right? And you know what? Maybe that's why a lot of Middle Easterners tend to gravitate more towards the honey figs. Maybe it's a seed thing. Who knows? Or a honey thing, or a juicy thing. God, it could be anything. Um, Richness. What was richness again? Richness was, no, that's complexity. Richness is, no, that's skin. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Richness is it. Oh, wait, what was complexity? Sorry, guys. Complexity was multiple flavors. Darn, I messed that up, guys. I'm sorry. All right, so originally we had done by richness. Let's do richness here. Richness is it thick and cakey and clings to your teeth? That's the richness. And that was the raspberry latte, campanieri, like Tuscan fig pretzel. You guys can read the list. All right, let's do complexity again. Complexity was, hey, how many berry flavors are you tasting? Is it multiple flavors that are going on in there? Is it two different flavors? Is it like raspberry, strawberry, um, a strawberry banana, or is it simple berry? And that's this list. So this is complexity, like how the most berry flavors all sort of squeezed into one thing. That's these figs right here. All right, and that's where all your Black Madeira types are, including the CDDs. Okay, this is the whole list. And thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, but we'll do another deep dive into another component of this list later on.